All right, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 671. Race swapping superheroes is good, actually. Okay,
Ah,
interesting grammar.
not that tile again.
Yeah, we've covered this a few times, I think, and this is from a YouTuber called Chloeseph. Chloeseph. Anyway, this came out 9 months ago. Has almost 800 views from a subscriber base of about 600. So that's pretty good over a subscriber count. Good for him. The ratio is 66 upvotes and 24 downvotes on the positive side. So I guess he's making some good arguments. And for a short video, I'm supposing he's going to be talking very quickly or he doesn't have much to say. So that's fine. Straightforward videos are good. But the issue is not about race. The issue is not about gender. The issue is not about visuals, because we have plenty of race swaps in the past that were good, also a lot that were bad. The issue is always that of lore. And do we take the lore seriously? And if so, it is a dramatic production, whether it's a comic book, whether it's a movie, a video game, whatever. Does it adhere to what it came from? Yes or no? And it's the adaptation argument. So how much creative freedom does the director have, and how strict are they to the lore? That's all it is. That's as basic as it gets. And if you can stomach a Latina Valkyrie from Ragnarok, good for you. I could. Not a big deal for me. Didn't bother me too much. But that's the nature of the film. The film was not taken seriously. It was more fun than dramatic. And I think that's fair. I think that you can get away with that when you're not doing something serious. So your brain is allowed to relax. Anyway.
I don't know. Depends a lot.
A lot of fans will say...
Even when it's just supposed to be comedy, my suspension of disbelief breaks more easily when that stuff happens. Because then there's weird people over there on the west coast of America trying to tell me that absolutely every ethnicity, demographic, alien, whatever you want, whatever it is, in the universe is all exactly comprised the exact same way as the population of California.
Oh, well.
Everywhere in mythology, everywhere in history, I'm sorry.
Well, look at Life is Strange, the video game. It was created by, was it a French company?
Yes.
Who were trying to act like a California... Well, they were writing for a California setting where teenagers would colloquially talk in whatever they thought was the right modern speech for girls or boys that age. And you could say, okay, that they're trying to get it accurate, or, oh, this is so cringy, I can't believe it. So there's a fine line between what do you think is modern, what do you think is accurate, because these people are in France. I don't know what kind of culture they have in regards to the vernacular of a teen in whatever made-up California city. And how much can you stomach? Is it good for you? Do you like it? Is it entertaining? Do you like talking with these characters? So there is obviously something that attracts people to not even just comedy, not even just drama, but just talking that has to work. And if it works, then you could say, okay, this is how this person talks now. This is the kind of joke they would make. This is the kind of reaction they would have. Therefore, if they get into a scene with drama or comedy, that has to be sold in the way they were presented. So we're actually making a lore argument right there, because we're saying we're setting up the character as the writer of this film or of this book says. Therefore, they're not going to jump back to their comic book. They're not going to jump back to, I don't know, a stereotype, a trope. They're going to be the character they are on the screen or on the page as. So that is something to consider. I think that's a bit more complicated for some people to accept or go through that mental process. But dialogue is very important to characterization. So if you get it right, it works. And in the case of Life is Strange, if it's so alien to you, you're just going to laugh through the entire experience. And that's also a good sign of quality. It's so bad it's good. It's fun to play.
I don't know.
I
Stupid
wouldn't call
gun.
Life is Strange so bad it's good. It's so bad. We're just laughing at the fact that it's just garbage.
It's like a B movie. I can't
Yes.
watch it alone.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but that's nothing I can do alone. I don't have the humor for that. I'm too German.
I see what you mean. When I was a kid, I would watch B movies by myself, like old 70s flicks, even the old
Low blow.
well, they were all sci-fi. Even the old series that were really cheesy, Battlestar Galactica. Like I used to watch that. I was like, wow, this is really weird as a kid, and that was on late at night for some reason. So I got off of that not because it was to be taken seriously, but because you're like, okay, they're trying to be serious through all these bad props and bad lighting, and everything was low budget, but you saw what they were trying to do.
It all hangs on the writing all the time. And the thing with this topic is always, is it believable? Is what you're writing with the character, is you changing a character, is it believable? And race swapping is not it by itself. Just, oh, that character's black now. That doesn't work.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, the character has a successor. Like someone brought up in the chat, Green Lantern. Okay, that works because the whole Green Lantern setup is not there's just one Green Lantern forever. No, that's just one member of a giant group of Green Lanterns. So, and everybody who's worthy can get a ring. Cool. Okay. So next Green Lantern is a black guy. Next Green Lantern is an Asian guy. Next Green Lantern is, I don't know, an Eskimo. Doesn't matter. But when you do this with characters where this doesn't work, like, oh, Black Panther is white now. Why? Oh, or Aragorn is black now. That doesn't work. No, that's bullshit. Magic the Gathering did that now. Aragorn is now black, and the Easterlings are now Celtic warriors.
Does Magic the Gathering associate itself with Lord of the Rings?
They have a lot
got
of
the
Rings
license for like
right
one
now.
run. That's all.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're running a lot of the Ring set. They also ran, or I don't know if I still run a Warhammer 40k set as well.
Okay.
They're doing all these these guest franchises, so to speak. Maybe they're just out of ideas.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Interesting. Well, I could go on and on about criteria and how we evaluate film and books based off your acceptance of the story as a whole, the lore, if it's an adaptation argument, if it's a series argument, if it's a genre argument. Like I can go through that, but I've mentioned that before in the past. Let's not get into that. Let's read some super chats and then we'll get on with the video. Here's there's a donation from Buck Breakingham Palace. Race swapping is good. That's swell. I can't wait for Black Panther to be portrayed by Ryan Gosling. Maybe we could get Nick Fury to be white again, since that was the last time he was cool and did stuff other than stand in dark rooms having conferences, or let a magical cat creature claw his eye out. That was always fun.
We all want Ryan Gosling to play Black Panther. I would also be okay with Matt Damon.
Oh boy, that'd be great.
Nick Cage?
No, that'd be too much. I think the needle has been pushed too far already. The Copper Owl, thank you for the 2. We need White Panther, aka the Fiskerton Phantom. Is that a thing?
I have no idea, but it sounds fun.
The Fiskerton. Yeah, what is that? Hopefully a joke, but you never know with comic books.
Bears could enlighten us.
Maybe. Anyway, let's get on with the video. We've rambled enough for an intro. Here we go.
I'm doing it again.
That's fucking stupid.
Race swapping superheroes shouldn't matter as much as it does, but yet and still, every time it happens, we have the same conversation.
Blackwashing.
Wait, why is he having the YMS one?
Okay, this is an ear rape asshole. My god. This is just an ear rape asshole.
Please shut the fuck up.
Please!
Wow.
That goes for you, asshole.
Is he trying to do a chill video or just be edgy? I don't know.
I mean, at least it's only less than 7 minutes long, so...
Yeah, good point.
Generic leftist idiot who does everyone to everyone else that he complains about.
Okay, I mean...
Ballin'!
One way to start your video and not, like, alienate your entire audience. Like, oh my god, what the hell was that?
Could I have the volume down on these mostly?
Yeah, all right. Well, let's keep going.
One of the main arguments that people have against race-swapping superheroes is, hey, instead of making white characters minorities, why don't you make your own black and brown characters
I
instead?
really
Which I
hate
guess is a
that
pretty
term.
fair argument, but one, you can do both, and two, even
No.
Wait. Why would you do
black and
both?
brown
Why?
Why would you? Yeah, why would you do both if you have actual creativity in your mind?
If you're basing a movie off a comic book, you say, okay, let's race swap the main character, and then let's also create new characters that are minorities or whatever. It's like, wait, why would you even do that? What's the point? It would become this recycled version of whatever came before, and people are like, who are these new characters? I didn't come here to see that. Why are they, Indian and Native American or whatever? So, this is not part of the story.
Hitler will now be played by Jet Li.
What kind of argument is that, sir? Just change everyone. Yeah, why not?
Everything's up for grabs. You have no standards and you have no respect.
Make all the leading men the villains. So you thought like Tom Cruise would be a leading man. No, he's the villain now for no reason. He's this short bald dude in the back, planning, scheming. And
just like in Tropic Thunder.
And Danny DeVito's the main character because he's totally a main character material. That's what you do.
characters, you guys still have a problem with it. We didn't forget how mad you guys got at that Star Wars actress. No,
we didn't get mad at the actress. Nobody got mad at the actress. You are lying.
I just wish she was in better shit,
Yeah, her role was shit. That's not her fault. Her role was written like a completely... not even over the top, because it's just what they are. She was written like borderline personality disorder without medication.
I never understood the kiss. I don't know why.
Completely horrible.
I don't know. There was no romance between any of these two, like Finn and Rose, at all.
Oh, it was in her head. In her head, it was like if you Rian Johnson accidentally managed, because I don't believe that he did this deliberately with this intent, with this outcome as the intent. He accidentally managed to write a perfect representation of a woman with borderline personality disorder. That includes her obsession with Finn and forcing herself sexually upon him.
You could argue she just had a mid-air collision, so her brain was probably scrambled. So.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to...
I would go for that.
You have to visit your local clinic and just walk through the borderline ward. It will open your eyes.
I have gone through the wards, not the borderline schizophrenics, but I have gone through psych wards before because I did actual psych.
Borderline is special. It is special.
I think the geriatrics, there's quite a few mental conditions that you could learn from. There's plenty of studies to be made if you're studying psych and you want to get into research. That's always a huge area of development. Not developmental psych, but 60 plus or 55 plus age group. Lots of neurological disorders that have psychological issues that people just don't know about. They don't know how to treat. They don't know how to deal with. And it's fascinating to see how people in their later years behave, whether they wanted to or not, because we're all getting there. And
but with this, we're talking about 20 teens and 20-year-olds not knowing what they're doing.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, the peak of borderline happens in those years, and that's where they wreck so many people around them. Oh. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. It is irrationality incarnate.
Well, yes, I think the problem with Rose was not anything to do with having an Asian mechanic as a main character or a secondary character, but just
it's not the issue.
The
it's
writing,
the entire
behind her.
And it has
the
like
behavior,
absolutely
the
nothing to
actions.
do with this topic because it's not a race swap. This character did not exist in that universe before.
Yeah, he's just trying. This guy's just
why
trying
is this even here?
He's just trying to poison the well, slander the other side with bullshit that nobody ever believed. This is the leftist narrative of why people didn't like the character. It's a Mott and Bailey fallacy, basically. So we hated the character, so the SJWs couldn't accept that because they liked the character, because everything Rian Johnson makes is good. So in their mind, we have to hate the actress instead.
Well, yeah, it is like a modern 9/11, except with more minorities.
Okay.
I don't follow, but okay.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Not that one. Yeah, that one. So
Oh,
if a
God.
pre-existing character is race swapped, it's cringe and forced diversity.
Question, which was the other one?
That was that the girl from Obi-Wan? And she played the dark...
Yes.
Oh,
really?
the other useless, unbearable character, where the actress was actually horrible.
It's weird because she was dumb. She did not know what Star Wars was or the history of it, and she was saying, "I'm finally seeing the first black woman in Star Wars" or something like that. They're like,
Yeah, she was just parroting whatever line she was fed, and it was just the ideological line. It was pathetic.
Yeah, really weird to listen to an actress go on about.
You could say in that case both the character and the actress got some animosity. With Kelly Marie Tran, she did not get any animosity.
Well, it's kind of like these people. They're trying to become famous. They're trying to do well. They're trying to become actors. They're really excited, and they're just spitting out every emotion they've got because they're so excited, or they're trying to be excited. Maybe they're not excited, and they're like, "Okay, I'm in California. I'm on Star Wars Celebration. Everyone's having a great time. What am I going to say? I got a job. I don't know anything about Star Wars."
The thing is with Star Wars in American film, to not know Star Wars is like wanting to go into theater, becoming a stage actor, and never having heard of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Not knowing what Romeo and Juliet is about.
What's the biggest stage production these days? Usually Shakespeare. So I've never read the books. I don't know Old English. I don't know how to prance and dance and arts and ises and whither to come hither. I don't know any of that stuff. But I read.
That's how big Star Wars is. For film.
I leafed through some of the pamphlets on my way here. Therefore, that's all my research. Therefore, I'm the first black woman in Star Wars or some nonsense. Okay.
An original character meant to represent a certain minority group, it's still cringe and forced diversity? How? When the character is unoriginal and black, you hate it. But when the character is original and black, you still hate it? This is supposed to...
No, you're wrong. These characters are badly written. And the shows are full of ideological garbage. They're badly written. We hate what is badly written, and you try to rescue that by saying, "Oh well, let's put a victim actress in there from a victim group. Then everybody will like the character and the show out of pity."
Well,
that's what you're doing.
You showed the example of Aquaman, which was Arthur Curry, and Arthur. If you don't know Aquaman, he's like a god or a king of under the sea. He's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, all that stuff. And then you have Jason Momoa, who's got these tattoos. He's a big, buff dude with dreadlocks and whatever. And
Hawaiian.
Is he Hawaiian? I don't know what background.
Hawaiian.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, he looks a lot different.
Where his tattoos are from.
See, this is my argument in all cases. I don't care if they can act. I don't know if you ever heard Jason Momoa act. He's not the most amazing actor.
He's terrible.
He's acting as Jason Momoa. He plays Jason Momoa.
He plays himself. Yeah, it's true. So I always argue, get the guy to look like the guy in the adaptation. That's all you have to do. You could train them in acting, or you could train them on the spot. Say the line like this, walk like that, talk like that, stand over here. That's all you have to do. Yeah, it takes the extra effort, but it's a movie. You have the time and money. So you can get away with it. So people didn't like the fact that he wasn't blonde, he wasn't this, and all these other elements, because the fans are there to see Aquaman, and it's a serious film. I don't know if the comedy was slapstick or the characters were.
I think it was unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like the second Thor film. They're all it's like Shakespearean. It's very serious. So they didn't do that, and the fans are like, "Well, what the hell is this?" So it's natural that.
Yeah, I think with Jason Momoa was relatively well accepted as Aquaman.
I think so.
For one, people make fun of Aquaman.
Yeah,
that helps changing something about the character. The other thing is that people like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is cool, and so when he plays Aquaman, looks like that, and people go, "Yeah, that's cool." So people are okay with this when it is presented well, when it is put up well, when it is written well enough. Like all these superhero movies, you can't really talk about them being well written, but some are okay. The thing is, the other characters that he brought up, which are not well received, they're written in ham-fisted, horrible ways that have no respect for anything. There's also another thing. The Aquaman movies did seem to have enough respect for the material, which is what the bad characters don't have. Like The Last Jedi had no respect for Star Wars. So people hate on it justifiably.
I do. We mentioned this before the video, but I was talking about Domino because that's the one I remember the most in a Deadpool film. And if you're going to have Deadpool film with any character doing whatever, it's not to be taken seriously. It's not a big deal. It's not part of the main continuity, as far as I recall. And they're films for fun. They're not there to be taken seriously. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, which is the nature of the comic book itself. So you can get away with a 70s blaxploitation looking character doing the stuff that Domino does. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't mind. Not a big deal. But if you're going to put Domino in an actual X-Men story or whatever, I don't even know what they're doing with X-Men these days, then they should adhere to the actual comic book. But then there's all the whole multiverse nonsense. There's all these versions of Domino or whatever. It becomes a mess, and then all of a sudden you lose your audience because like, oh, they're using this version of Spider-Man. Oh yeah. So I don't know how popular those films are these days. I haven't bothered to watch them, but I'm sure people like them. Anyway,
Is supposed to believe you're not racist. How? I'm gonna propose something crazy.
Because we care about the lore.
Yeah. That's more important. You are the one who cares about the race only. You say, if you don't like the black people, then you're racist.
Yeah,
but it's not about them being black in the first place.
This is the question.
In the first place, it's about them being badly written, like those newly invented characters for Star Wars.
This is the question.
We don't like them because they're black people. You're using that as an excuse. And the thing is, Hollywood is doing that proactively. They already know that they make something, they already know it's shit, and they cast black people in the roles to then immediately go with the race card of, oh, you just don't like it because it's black people, when they know it's going to flop, because it's badly written, because it's full of ideological propaganda.
Yeah, that's like one of the reasons that they're black, but yeah, it's just, unfortunately, they can't do anything about that.
Outside of the arguments we're trying to listen to why this guy thinks it's no big deal, the simple question is, why do they think this is a good idea? Like, what is actually good about changing lore? And we have our arguments as how lore. We go about the adaptation argument all the time. You know, what is a good way of doing it? How much freedom do you have? But why do these people care about this topic so much? Because unless you're a writer,
they're brainwashed.
Well, yeah, unless you're a writer on one of these productions, and you say, okay, we're going to make Domino black. It's like, why? We got a really good actor. It's like, okay, yeah, who cares? They're right there. We just had them screen. She's good. She knows her lines. Sounds good. Looks good on camera. She can do her own stunts if she wants. Like, that'd be the simplest reason.
Yeah, sometimes you have those moments.
Yeah.
When it is actually for that actual reason. Okay. Well, that happens 1 in a million times.
Right. And that is
and they just cast they cast for racial reasons and then claim, that's just the best actor for the role we had, which is a lie.
Right.
Every
the director
single time
would have to be like, okay, this film is not going to be taken seriously. We don't have to worry about continuity too much, which probably is never something a director should say, even if you're doing a farce. But with Deadpool, to me, it's like, it's not a big deal because she's not a main character. There's all these other actors that pop in and die within a minute. It's hilarious. And she's part of that team, but because she's Domino, she survives because of her power, because she could avoid danger. So that is like, okay, fair enough. It's all fun and games, not to be taken seriously. So the nature of the work, the genre or the adaptation of what you're pulling through is very important to acceptance and the willing suspension of disbelief when everything's supposed to be up in the air anyway. So I don't know how that works with multiverses and all those movies that Marvel came out with recently. So that would be confusing to me. All these possible Spider-Men. Like, oh, okay. I guess that's normal now. So I guess your mileage may vary on your acceptance for the parallel universes of Peter Parker. Anyway.
The short of it with this psychopath and his psychopath avatar that is full of smugness and malice is simply, I will not be bullied or emotionally extorted in any way into liking trash. Especially not with such...
Well, it's just not even possible. Like, you just don't like what you don't like. It's impossible to like something that you don't like. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be bullied into liking something.
Yeah, but even if someone were to make fun of you or tease you, it'd be like, well, like, what do you want me to do? I just don't like chocolate ice cream. It doesn't matter what you say. I just can't. Yeah. I just can't like it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you can't bully me into that. You can't, because this is malicious brainwashing techniques.
Yeah. All right, Copper, one more time.
It's evil.
Smudcast stage prod does Macbeth. Wisp is Ghost.
Smudcast stage production.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where's the ghost in Macbeth. I was thinking of Hamlet. I don't know about Macbeth.
Hamlet, yeah.
Yeah. Closest in Macbeth would be the Weird Sisters.
Yeah, I guess. All right, fair enough.
You ready for it? The fans are never right. They don't know what they want, and if ever given a chance to work on their...
No, they pretty much do.
How is that?
But you yourself are a fan. Like, otherwise, why would you care about this race thing?
Yeah, well, he also admitted that he's not a fan.
More about like the representation aspect than like the material itself, which I wonder why that is.
Well, this is the arrogant position of the communist tyrant who says, I know better what everybody wants.
Everyone else is wrong except for me.
I know what the workers really want. They don't know. Let me rule.
Yeah, I'm the
Why
best.
Is there famine? Why is there famine
fan.
all of a sudden?
I'm the actual fandom. I know exactly what people want. They're stupid and they're wrong, but I know what they want secretly. It's like, oh, you're a mind reader.
People know what I like about Star Wars, and they this is probably going to be one of these. Oh, you didn't like the prequels, and now you don't like the sequels, and now you like the sequels, the prequels. No, that's simply the prequels came first after the original, and they were flawed massively. But in contrast with Disney, it becomes evident that they were made with honesty.
Also, the bar...
The sequels were not made with honesty.
The level of quality of the 4 to 6 episode were established to be of a certain quality that Lucas and his team produced. And then something went awry from 1 to 3. That was noticeable. And then when you get to 7 and 9, you're like, oh my God, what happened? Disney, what did you do? And then,
how could you mess up Star Wars?
Yeah, so it's like saying, if you go to the Goldilocks scenario where it's like, okay, you first try the one in the middle, the perfect balanced porridge, right? Everything's great. And then you get the one that's too cold. You're like, oh, this is not so good. Then you get the one that burns your mouth. Not just like heat, but like they put like Tabasco sauce. It's like, what?
It's like the wrong way around.
This is not even porridge. What is this?
Why would you even try the hot one after you've had the good one? What kind of glutton are you?
That's what the scenario was. We had really good to just not so good to just absolute trash, and that's what happens when the modern world is like, or the current vibe, the current flavor in your mouth is trash, and you go, man, that McDonald's I had last week, that was pretty good in comparison.
All you needed was a good writer who cared, and Star Wars, you can find hundreds of them, I'm sure.
It's too late.
All right.
Even mediocre ones. Look at the fan films. Holy hell!
They don't care. They
Some
don't
of them
exist
are
in their eyes.
brilliant.
They would throw.
I
If they
know.
could just throw $500,000 at one of those guys, they'd be in heaven. They'd be, oh my god, I could make my dream come true. So anyway, the Cop Royale again. I messed up. It was Hamlet. Okay, Othello would be fun. Yes, I like Othello very much. That'd be great. King Lear also, but that might be a little complicated. But Othello would be easier. Yeah. All right.
No doubt they would make the worst shit yet created. Now, obviously,
Wanna
there
bet?
are exceptions to this rule, but I'm talking about your average complaint on Twitter.
Wait, Young Justice was an exception.
This guy reminds me of Plinkett, but less competent.
I
The funnier part is he's using old YMS music.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know what the argument for Young Justice was, but he just flashed on the screen. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, is it good because a fan made it, or a fan was it a fanfic thing and then they got hired?
I don't care. Like, he doesn't care either.
Yeah.
I guess we can go on.
No
Yeah,
explanation.
Tyler Preston, you're right, and that makes me think of why are the communists constantly telling us that we have to like the next shitty capitalist product, no matter what. That we have to consume the next bullshit capitalist product. Why are the communists telling us that?
When are the actual critics of like this guy of media going to start criticizing economics? Like when do they make that transition from cultural issues to like money issues? Like wait. All of our money should be free. I was like, what are you talking about? What does that mean?
When has socialism ever criticized the money system?
Well, the people
because capitalism is inherently based on the emotion greed, but under communism, that emotion does not exist because you're gonna get killed first.
Yeah, by the tyrant who has taken everything from you.
Okay.
The greed is just centralized in one person, and then nobody else needs to be greedy because nobody else has anything.
All right.
All-day fan who swears that if they were given a chance to write for their favorite property, that it would then return to its former glory. I hate these people. Just ignore them.
No, they don't say former glory. They would just have their own fanfic like any fan might write.
Yeah, anyone can do that. Why does he have a problem with that? They like to bring up the story that the Ledger would have been much better if Luke would have destroyed all the AT-ATs, however you spell that shit. But really, it would have been better. But the point is that really what they wanted to nail down is that anyone could have written a better movie than that garbage, because it came from a production of $250 million, and that's the best they could do, supposedly.
Yeah. And watch in comparison the fan films Bucketheads, Kenobi, and what was it? The one with Darth Maul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's basically the last training of Darth Maul before he sets out for the events of Episode 1. And there's barely any dialogue. Darth Maul doesn't talk, but the actor is really good and conveys the story through very, very minute motions and facial expressions. It's really great if you have an eye for that. wonderful. And it gives you the feeling that Darth Maul in that fan film would like to recruit the Jedi apprentice at the end for his own cause against Darth Sidious, but doesn't because he knows he is under surveillance. Like, he doesn't want to do Darth Sidious' bidding, but he knows that Darth Sidious is watching, so he's not doing it. But the indications are all there. And it's very subtle. It's very much show, don't tell in a subtle manner. It's great. It's awesome. If that was Star Wars, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting a KOTOR live action or whatever. I don't know if that was canceled. But as soon as they do, I'm going to compare it to the fan-made film Rescue Mission, which I think I showed you guys once before. And just the quality, just the lines, just the delivery. Yeah, obviously the actors weren't the best, the lines weren't the best, but they did a really decent job for producing that thing.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's the Vader fan film by the channel Star Wars Fury, which he pumped a lot of money in, of his own money.
Oh, really?
And that thing is brilliant. It's an exchange between Vader and the Emperor, with Vader having flashbacks and thoughts about Padme, and is trying to break out of, if you want to call it the conditioning or whatever, against Sidious, but Sidious' mind powers and force powers are just too strong, and he gets caught in illusions that he couldn't see through, and that finally breaks him. It's really great.
Yeah, so fanfics can be good. It is interesting because we have met or encountered people from comics, movies, who get the writer's chair for whatever reason, who are fans, who do write their own fanfic, and then you realize, oh, this is just a girl in her teens, even though she's in her 20s, who never got over her fanfic not being made, and now they're writing for Disney, and they're, oh, it's my dream job of working at a studio, and you're like, and the thing about those
fan films I mentioned is that how you know it's true fan films, it's made by real fans, and that they care, is that all of these fan films would seamlessly fit into the Star Wars story as events that happened and that do not contradict anything else. They fit in. They flesh out the story.
The best part
while what we get from these hack writers all the time, and these race swap nonsense people, these race fetishists, is just stuff that breaks everything just to get their bullshit into it.
I do remember a YouTube channel. He has two channels. One is called Not Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he does the voice changing as well as the deepfake of his face, and he plays like Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and then this weird version of Anakin, and they're watching like the prequels or whatever, and it's just complete jokes. Like, it's just so much fun. So there are some things to be said about just having a farce of a bunch of people watching bad Star Wars. So that at least was worth all those years of really bad films. Yeah, but they're enjoyable enough to do that. I don't think anyone wants to do that for the sequels. They're just not fun bad. They're just bad. Yeah, they never actually covered the sequel. That's true. It's always been the prequels, the prequel timeline, and everything leading up to Episode 4. So, well, the TV shows, obviously, or streaming shows. Okay.
Them and do what you want as a creative. Sometimes in the heads of certain creators, they just imagine this pre-established character as this race or this sexuality instead, and they don't think this way because they want to boost sales in certain demographics. That's what the company who own these properties are thinking, sure, but the creators themselves make these decisions because, for lack of a better word, it just feels right to them. It just makes sense. And most likely other times the actor or actress just fits the role regardless of race. Both of these actors just now looked like they were stoked on drugs.
They're probably exhausted from doing so many interviews.
I don't know. That looked drugged up.
Well,
there's tired and there's drugged up.
They're talking to like 15 people in succession of the same questions over.
Only 15? No, they probably is talking to like hundreds of them.
Oh, really?
Because like these fucking things like happen like from every country. You have to accept like person to delegations, and then you have to talk to them for days on end. Yeah.
Man, imagine talking more about your movie than it took time to make it.
Something like that.
I only had 3 lines.
Race is a part of their character. Literally, who cares? Red Skull couldn't be anything but a...
Then why do you need to race swap?
Oh, what is he about to say about Red Skull?
Sometimes the actor or actress just fits the role regardless of race. And unless the character's race is a part of their character, literally who cares? Red Skull couldn't be anything but a white German guy because he's literally a Nazi from the fucking 40s. Magneto couldn't be anything.
But he's played by a British man. What are you talking about?
How about an Italian turncoat? You know, it's still the same government system, I guess. Certain flavor of dictatorship.
Yeah, well, weren't the Japanese considered to be in the Axis?
Yeah, I guess so. Imperialist, yeah. They could...
Then we're
going by Yahtzee rules that Japanese people are white as well.
Yeah, since they're white anyway, yeah, so he could be Japanese. Then you had
Thank you, Persons 5.
These Muslim SS groups that were out for Jew hunting specifically. So he could be a brown Muslim.
Oh my god, the kebab.
Yeah. We can make all arguments for that.
Yeah.
And if you say, oh, but if the race is a thing of the character, then okay, why depict Zeus, Achilles, historical characters, Jarl in Norse history? Why depict Odin as black and all of this other stuff? Why?
I remember the one that...
Why make Anne Boleyn black? Why?
I didn't really care about, but I realized it was a big deal. It was from Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange film. The ancient one was portrayed as a female Irish? Was she Celtic? I don't know what the heck she was. But
very white. Yes.
Yeah, obviously, it was a bald woman. And in the comics, it's this old Asian dude. So it's like, why would you go that far?
Because we need some chemotherapy patient representation as well.
The justification was that having the old Asian man as the ancient one, that would be stereotypical and therefore racist. So instead, they race swapped the Asian man with a white woman.
No, that's not the real reason was that the character was from Tibet, and the movie was gonna be a big hit in China. So they had to exchange that person to something else.
Oh, so it is racist because Tibetans have to be denied their existence.
Oh boy!
Because the communist regime the communists like this guy excuse has to be appeased. Racism is okay when the commies do it.
Yeah, he's going to say Magneto has
China
to be,
will make sure of that. Yeah.
Magneto has to be... What is even Magneto's background? I don't even know. What is he supposed to be?
He's Jewish.
He was in a concentration camp.
I know that, but is that just his religion, or is it specific to Israel?
You know, his religion was not being in a concentration camp, no.
Oh, all right.
But a white Jewish guy, neither could Kitty Pryde or Ben Grimm, so on and so forth. But when
Wait, Magneto is now white?
White and Jewish?
So what? Jews are now white? Somebody tell the Nazis. Bloody hell.
Wait, Ben Grimm, wasn't he a rock creature?
Yes.
What is it with Lebanese Jews? Are they white?
Ashkenazi Jews could be black, I guess.
Look, we have to accept all those people from all those brown people, which are apparently white now, because they're refugees, and if they were white, they wouldn't have privilege. No, they would have privilege, and thus couldn't be refugees. So please, some consistency. What are the rules? Look, we're role players, we're war gamers, we need clear rules that don't contradict each other, and you commies are incapable of coming up with a rule set that is consistent and stays consistent. The only consistency your fucking rule sets have is that they change every second so that you can say whatever you want in that very second.
Wally West, Black Canary, or fucking Annie, characters whose race is irrelevant to almost every story they've been featured in. Why is it a problem when people change
trying to make a
those
point now?
Is it because they're white? It's because they're white, aren't they? Guys, I promise you, you will never run out of white characters. The few that have...
What?
We're running out of historical characters because you make them all black.
I mean, the funnier thing is
For
the Annie thing there. How do I put it? I just find it ironic that they made Annie black, and the whole thing of she can't read. Oh, that's a lovely stereotype there.
When's this video from?
9 months ago.
Oh God. You're projecting.
I'm trying to think of who's that actor that played Heimdall in the first Thor film?
Idris Elba?
Yeah, obviously he's not a proper Norseman or Aesir, but his performance was good enough to say, okay, yeah.
Okay, but the role was also so small that my question is, why bother?
That's a good point. Because okay, good actor to do nothing. You're like, well,
why cast Idris Elba for that role? Oh, he's good performance. Yeah, but it's a minor role. It's not necessary to have a super actor there. In that case, because it's also a question of what you put on the scales.
Yeah.
Is that side character from Norse mythology that you have there? That has when it is a minor role, why do you race swap it? You don't need a super actor for it. You can take an average actor who fits the role.
All right.
Have race swapped are a fraction of a fraction, and those that haven't are still very white.
Why do you? Oh God, there comes the ear rape again. You bloody asshole! You're a psychopath. You need to be institutionalized. I need to say that because otherwise I would say the more permanent thing. The thing is, you always go for main characters. You always go for the most beloved characters. You go for historical characters, for fuck's sake. Cleopatra is black now, I've heard. Fucking asshole.
That's just silly. I mean, that's an actual historical character.
Yeah, but this is the We Was Kangs shit. Just manifesting more and more. That's why they made Zeus black. That's why they made Achilles black. That's why they go through all the mythologies and all the history of Europe and make everyone black. That's why they made the Little Mermaid black.
Painted black. It's a great song from the Rolling Stone.
They even made the horse black or brown or whatever.
Is this more of that victim complex bullshit that's really popular right now?
I hope you get
5 white characters are now not white, and within 10 years, every character that was once white will be black, and there will be no Aryans
That
left.
is the goal.
Wait a minute, are you guys sure this isn't just a great replacement theory, but this time it's happening to fictional white people?
No, that is part of all of it. We know about what your ideology is doing. We know what the strategy is. Gramsci told it. Horkheimer told it. There's enough of your fucking prophets who said the quiet part out loud because they wrote books about it. There are people in your ideology right now writing books about it on how to do this. The Great Replacement theory is not a theory, it's a plan that's in action, that's in motion, that Angela Merkel got a fucking award from the EU for.
Wow, I didn't know that Angela Merkel can also make movies.
Yeah, you're just calling it these things in order to slander it and gaslight everyone about that you're totally not doing it. When you cry every time you don't get to do it, or when somebody takes something back from you. Because the only way it's allowed is in your direction, because that's progressive. Progress is when you get what you want. And if that is destroying the world, that's okay, because that's on the right side of history. On the right side of history is giving you assholes what you want.
This is the left side of history now.
All right.
Instead of people. You know, I'm having a very hard time believing you guys aren't racist. What if the shoe was on the other foot? What if we made a bunch of black characters white? Ew! It'd be the same, right? Wrong. If we were to take all the minority
Yes.
characters in Western media and compare them to the amount of white characters in Western media, the darkies would have less than the...
It's not about numbers,
darkies?
you fucking retard. It's not about numbers, you
that.
psycho retard.
I'm assuming this guy is black if he's talking like this.
No, this is a fat old white dude who's taking up a female avatar because he probably believes he's trans because he jerked off too much.
Oh boy, let's not even go there.
Explain to me why this is his avatar.
He's weird. It's a good enough
With
for
the
me.
stupid, with the ugly hag female hair and the weird black lipstick.
I don't know what that avatar is, and frankly, I'm not paying attention to it. But
I honestly don't care.
yeah, it's like I don't see race. I don't really care about the makeup. It doesn't bother me.
Look, we're followers of the Morgan Freeman school of anti-racism. Okay,
That's
just
a good
don't
way of
talk
putting it.
about it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Also, we have these reactions and not just studies, but companies just saying that all this DEI stuff is making people more pissed at people who are different from them instead of less. Man, it's all backfiring. Let's cancel the DEI stuff.
Also, it's like I don't want to say it, but there's less minorities in the U.S. than black people. Just saying.
Also, worldwide,
So,
white
there's
people
more
are
white
minority.
people in there.
And worldwide, white people are minority. Does that count? Oh no, it's because white people have the power and the privilege. Economically,
White
worldwide, I'm not
power.
so sure.
I always like that word privilege. It assumes that whoever has the privilege, if it's based off race, then it's a racist statement. You're saying this person is superior because of X.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, so is that
Some inherent magic based on skin color.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so because I'm black or white or whatever, therefore I'm superior.
Yeah, it's just what the Nazis thought. Because I'm black or white, I'm superior or inferior.
It's like saying rich privilege. It's like, well, no, you come from money, and money makes the world go round. It's nothing to do with, my father was a brilliant inventor. It's like, I don't know, maybe he came from money as well. Maybe he's a Rockefeller.
And most people who come from money just burn it.
Well, there's the issues of lineage and what's the word, generational wealth, and not being able to keep it going, or at least maintaining it.
Yeah. On average, by the third generation, it's poof.
Yeah, it's as if the parents have to teach their children how to be good with finances. It's interesting.
Yeah, but that is not necessarily enough. I've known people who got inherited the businesses, like landlord businesses, from their parents, built up over several decades, and the kid just didn't want to do it, didn't want the job, also
Really?
didn't want to work any other job, but then basically just burned through the houses, sold one by one, and didn't maintain them, so they fell into decrepit states, and well, that's how you lose all of that shit very, very quickly. It's not just about the skill to maintain it. It's also about the drive, is the will there to maintain it.
Yeah,
And if your kid is just some unwilling to do anything pothead, then there's nothing gonna come from it.
I do recall getting not gifts, but like grandparents would give you gifts at Christmas, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna give you an investment account." It's like, "Oh, what's that?" And they would teach you what this means and how money, at least within the investment account, works within a certain banking system. You're like, "Oh, that is a thing for my future. Thank you, grandfather." And that's a very smart gift to give one of your grandkids or your kids before we have like what do they call educational investment funds. There's all these different funds you could buy now for investing in your kids' future. But if you don't have those things, or whatever banking system you're part of doesn't exist, yeah, giving gifts of cash and teaching your nieces and nephews or your kids how to save money, the most basic thing, one of the most important things you can do in life. And I wish I could teach all you guys about investing. I should probably start a channel on that, because it's so important when you start early. And imagine everyone bought $1,000 worth of stock in Google in 2001. Just imagine if you did that. Anyway, here's the Dark Seraph. Thank you, sir. If they made Black Panther white, you bet your backside people would be pissed. That's like having Liam Neeson play Ra's al Ghul. People won't like it.
And if people like Eric July invent new black characters, they're also pissed because it's on the wrong side of politics.
That's a good point with that series of Batman. If what's his name, Christopher, the guy who played Batman, what's his name again?
Nicolas Cage.
No, like his voice was so garbled. Like if you want to do a certain performance of Batman, yeah, the tough voice is fine. But when you can't hear exactly what you're saying, and then you have a
Christian Bale.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Christian Bale. Like you could barely hear his screaming, garbled voice, and then you have in the third film Bane, and you could barely hear what he's saying.
I had no problem with Batman in those. I had trouble with Bane. He was jumping on these weird frequencies. Simultaneously. What am I listening to? One person? Several? Yeah, what is this creaking noise?
If you can't do that, you have a problem with your film or your production. Like imagine if Phantom of the Opera, it wasn't a musical, and the Phantom, like he really had a busted up voice, and you couldn't hear him. He wasn't singing. He wasn't an opera singer. You'd be like, "What the hell is this guy saying?"
The way Two-Face should sound.
Oh yeah, like completely. Like imagine if half your speech is like this. Because your mouth is open, there's all this air rushing in, and your saliva is dripping out. Like you can't understand someone. And they did that with Batman and Bane, which I thought was hilarious. Anyway.
Let's just say that not only would a small fraction of Western characters be minorities, but I'd be willing to bet over half of those characters are just supporting characters.
Because only a fraction of Western people are black people.
What's wrong with supporting
You're not talking about minorities. You're talking about black people specifically. You don't give a shit about any other minority demographic. You only care about black African people.
Even in Black Panther, we had white supporting characters. So who cares? Like, what's the point? You could have multiple. It doesn't matter who your supporting cast is unless it's not lore specific. And if you're trying to be lore specific and you screw that up, then people get pissed off. What was the one I actually liked? There was a swap. I think it was the third Iron Man film. It had Ben Kingsley as the what the hell's that guy's name?
Mandarin?
Was it the Mandarin? And you're like, oh, that's not an Asian dude. What the hell? And then you realize, oh, it's a big cover up. It's a big facade. You're like, oh, okay, so that's their version of the Mandarin. Whether it's the real Mandarin or not is irrelevant. The story is saying this dude is fake. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. The story explained why the Mandarin was a white guy and acting all weird. So you can get away with it if the writing supports it. It has nothing to do with, putting this guy in blackface or like imagine Ben Kingsley was trying to look more Asian. That'd be kind of weird. But if the lore supports it, if the story supports it, it's fine. If the lampshade is dumb or if there is no lampshade, people get pissed off.
Yeah, and the thing that this guy is doing is it's this narcissistic type of thinking where it's about ownership. Like if there's black people in the movie, the black people own it. That because they have it now. They have something. So it's about having and not having. See where it goes into the haves and have-nots again? That's where you get into the socialist bullshit. Maybe that's one of the things that draws these idiots, these narcissistic idiots, to that ideology, because it's about owning stuff. And that's not how we look at this stuff. Grow the fuck up. We just enjoy movies that are good.
The white main lead. Yeah, in a country like America, where like 40% of the country isn't.
Tell me why we have to bother with your American bullshit here in Europe, because you shoved this whole racial quota crap here too. With minorities that don't even exist here. Thank you very much.
Well, to his credit, like he's probably talking to an American audience, so he can say whatever he wants.
How many times are people like him going to scream, the majority of the country is this, until it's like, years later, it's like, how's that statement holding up there, bud? Not so well figured.
You know what this really always sounds to me like? This is rich white people, the bourgeoisie, the white bourgeoisie, complaining that they can't see enough black monkeys on the stage dancing. Because they want to clap and cheer at the black people on the stage dancing.
I'm not sure what to make of this guy, actually. He seems to be obviously ensconced in his ideology, but he's also trying to make light of the fact that people who think otherwise are dumb, and you're like, okay, but there's no clear argument for it because
it's just angry. It's just the basic regurgitation of the ideological points. There's nothing special here.
Well, it's like he doesn't know the other side of the
it's
argument.
Just especially petty.
He's just like, why are all the black people? Like, who cares? Well, now there's more black people because of race swapping. That's a good thing. It's like, why? Tell us why.
Tell me why.
1% of the characters in American media are just a bunch of whiteys. And people like
Oh,
me
wow.
are
Alice
saying
White.
that there should be less white characters, just more non-white ones. And one of the ways people do that is by making white characters not white. It's not a slight against white people.
Make your own characters, you fucking idiot.
It's not a slight against white people to change their race. Okay.
Then why is he so smug about it?
Yeah,
Why is
do
he
you-
smug about that? Why is he happy about the other thing? Why is he happy about white people losing things? Why is he mad at white people allegedly having things?
I don't know. These are like life's greatest questions, but I'm gonna head out. It's
Good night.
1 a.m. It was enough.
Okay.
I think he's just gonna scream more.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah.
starting to
Definitely, yes.
understand
See
why
that.
he's got the black eye there.
Again,
Wait, what?
can you repeat that?
I was just saying, I think I'm starting to understand why he has the black eye on his avatar there. Considering half the shit he's saying.
Well, the argument would be, this is not a slight against white people. This is a boon. Like, what's the trade-off? So we change the race of a white popular character in comics and put it on the screen. That's not a bad thing to white people. That's a good thing. Like how? I want to know what he's getting at here. This is getting weird.
It's just race fetishism.
People, it's just a creative means to an end, but that is
It's just a creative means to an end. What does that mean?
To what
what
end
end?
exactly?
So we're not insulting white people. It's just the writer.
As I said, it's not about writing. It's not about quality. It's not about delivering a good product.
It's always ominous
There's
whenever they say means to
there's another goal here. And what is that goal?
We're not
Can you spell out that goal?
we're not executing you. It's just a means to decrease our population. It's just
And there's no replacement except that's the goal. That's the means to the end.
It's not-
It's
it's
the
not a-
end that we want to
it's
reach
not
by
a-
the means of race swapping all the characters.
It's not a firing squad. We're just testing out bullets and our guns. Make lots of excuses this way.
you wanting less white characters. I hear you saying. Well, no, usually when a character is race swapped, it's just from one specific adaptation. Unless it's like a Nick Fury situation, the character from the source material is still as white as Wonder Bread. And these are superheroes we're talking about. You really think that in the
Nick Fury is not a superhero.
They got an A-list actor to play Nick Fury. That's how that works.
Yeah, and it's decent enough for most people, so okay. That's one of these instances of, yeah, okay, we accept it. It's like the Jason Momoa plays Aquaman thing.
He's good enough, yeah.
I'll accept Sam Jackson as an ultimate Nick Fury, but as the main one, not really.
vast multiverse of Marvel or DC that there isn't one version of Hawkeye who's like fucking Asian? Really? Another reason that people will say that this is a bad idea is that these race-swapped characters are always worse than the original, which incidentally implies that the non-white versions of these characters are
which has nothing to do with the race. That's again a writing problem, you fucking imbecile, because you ideologically possessed not even tadpoles.
Well, he's arguing
ancient slime, primordial slime people.
He's getting angry over the fact that the blacks or whatever, the race swap race is inferior.
The race I'm fetishizing is not good enough. Oh, I need to fan fiction harder. I need to fan fiction harder so people like the race I obsess about. Oh.
I wonder why it's not as good as the original. Let me think about that.
How about you stop trying to imitate? You're mad that about the very problem that we talked about. It's shitty writing. Write it better.
But also, that just isn't always the case at all.
Not always?
The reason that no one liked Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm was because the writing in that movie made his character insufferable. Not because...
Oh! Now bad writing is a factor now. Can we talk about Rostico again?
Fascinating how black dude, he goes, wait a second, he's great as a black dude superhero. It's the writing. Like, yes, you're right.
You're onto something here, man. Wow.
All you gotta do...
Can you be... All you need to do now is be consistent with this argument and you understand the other side.
Yeah, anytime he references a white guy, just imagine he's a black guy and now make your argument.
What a fucking idiot.
Wow, the veneer is so thin, dude. It's like, oh, it's writing. No kidding. How'd you come to that conclusion?
The black guy just so happened to be the one playing him. On the flip side, you have the black version of Starfire from that Teen Titans show that I don't watch. The creator of Starfire himself is constantly praising this version of the character on Twitter.
Because he probably has a gun to his head. My god, that thing looked like a fucking clown.
So now he's going to say Starfire is a bad character, even though they race swapped her. Let's hear this. This is going to be great.
Twitter, genuinely happy with the actress's performance. So surprise, surprise, the quality of these characters is more so based on the writing and acting and not the fucking race that the character just so happens to be. Who would have thought? But like I said before...
Okay, so his argument is still the writing. And he thinks the writing is good. As per the creator of Starfire.
This guy doesn't...
Not the show writing, not the actual thing on the screen that was race swapped. No, he's not going to argue that. The writer of the original Starfire says, I like the new actress.
This guy must have brain damage. I cannot explain in any other way why he's so incapable of just sticking to one argument and being capable. He's incapable of spotting bad writing.
Yeah, this is as if Neil Gaiman wrote Death. And then someone took The Sandman, the first volume or whatever, and did their own thing. They wrote their own story of The Sandman, and Gaiman wasn't involved. He goes, hey, that actress who plays Death, what a great actress, even though it's a black woman. Without ever addressing the change in writing or the dialogue or the scenario or whatever was changed. It's good.
Are you talking about a fictional scenario or what actually happened?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what was in the story. But the fact that the writer who created the character says, yeah, the black actress is great. Like, how? Tell us how it's good.
Because he has a gun pointed to his head that if he does not like the massacring of his own invention, he will be a persona non grata.
Well, Gaiman is.
He will be unpersoned. Nobody in Hollywood will ever talk with him ever again.
In the case,
the left will ostracize him.
In the actual case of Sandman, Gaiman was heavily involved, and it's just pretty much this. They're just lifting, I'd say, 90% of the script from the comic anyway. And Gaiman
I still won't watch it because of these stupid race swappings that they excuse with. Oh, it's totally good. I love it. Like, no, fuck you.
And Gaiman is so already far.
I am so.
He was already progressive in the late 90s or the 90s. So he's like, yeah, let's just go.
Yeah, but that's an Overton window thing. What he did in the 90s would be considered conservative now that he would be ostracized for, which is why he's okay with the changes now. It's an Overton window problem. And I remember sitting in theater where schools took us to, I don't know what class was that. It was still elementary, so it was probably 10 or 12. And I did some modern interpretation of Goethe. And I hated it. I didn't want to see some stupid, pretentious, modern in quotation marks interpretation of Goethe's works in this Steve Buscemi hey fellow kids manner. Like, fuck off. This is because that's all what the SJWs are doing. They're doing the hey fellow kids, hey fellow blacks. And then to everyone who doesn't like it, they do this narcissistic game of, but you have to like it or you're a bad person. You have to love me or you are evil. Like, fuck off. Take a bullet.
All right, here's Legacy. Thank you, sir. Johnny Storm still doesn't work because Sue Storm is white and they're brother and sister. Try explaining that to the parents. What? That's great. I didn't know that.
The only one who has to do some explaining is the mother.
Well... Maybe they're adopted, but I didn't know that. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
People will still have a problem even if the minority character is completely original. For example, all of these black and brown legacy characters that Marvel started pumping out all at once in the early 2010s really boiled people's blood.
Because they're all shit. We can go through them. Let's go through them. Where's the... Did it skip too far?
I don't know what you did.
Even if the character is completely original. For example, all of the...
Okay, who do we have here?
We got America Chavez, who worships Selena, the dead singer.
Yeah, let's start from the left, so that we stay in order.
All right.
Okay, that's... what was it? Based on Deadpool. Gwenpool?
Right.
Gwenpool's horrible. Horrible writing.
It's a farce, so it's like, who cares?
Yeah, what's the blue thing?
Blue Beetle?
I've never read that one. I've heard the name a few times lately.
It's not Blue Beetle?
No, Blue Beetle's DC.
Electro?
Can't be Electro.
I was thinking of the Jamie Foxx version.
It was weird, and Electro was weird in that Spider-Man movie. That didn't come across like a functioning villain. Even with the backstory of disgruntled employee who hates Spider-Man or some bullshit. It just made no sense.
No, he was obsessed with him, then he ate him because, oh no, he took the cameras away from me, he took the attention. Yeah. You forgot me.
Yeah, then you got America Chavez, I believe. Which, did anybody ever buy those books?
Not really.
Okay, that Squirrel Girls looks horrible.
Yeah. That's
not fun. That just looks like cringe. Holy shit. Who drew that?
I don't know most of these, so I can't say. I guess that's Steel in the middle. No, that's DC.
That's Riri Williams with the stupid hair.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. I thought she was tinier. Okay.
Yeah. Is that Miles Morales?
It's gotta be.
The characterless Spider-Man who only got likable once they made the movie.
It's not 2099? Is that Spider-Man 2099? Okay.
Wait, no. Wait, where's 29? No, there's no 29.
All right.
So I don't know what that other black girl on the left is.
Yeah,
that just looks really stupid.
These are all forgettable.
Miss Marvel is dead.
Oh, she got... Oh, Jesus, really?
She's dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the SJWs hate it, although no Marvel character ever stays dead.
Yeah, long. Does that ever happen? I was like, if that's serious, if that's permanent, that'd be really...
No, they're just completely retarded. They can't accept the setback. They always have to win.
So, is the guy on the right Doctor Strange? Is that...
A new Doctor Strange thing?
Okay. I did not know that. They got a new one.
And in the background, that's Asian Hulk, who is smart and has himself under control.
Cool. Okay. That's different.
Not really. He also gives Bruce Banner some complaint talks, I think. What is the purple woman in the middle that looks like a copy of Bayonetta?
Yeah, who knows?
That's also a very broken pose.
Oh, no, that's, what's her face? I think Kate Bishop? I think that's Kate
That's
Bishop.
Kate Bishop? Oh, jeez.
What? That is an especially broken Escher pose. Like, holy shit. And I remember 10 years ago, SJWs constantly complaining about Escher girls with the broken spine, where you see the ass crack and the boob and the boobs.
Yeah.
And well, if you are nimble enough, you can do that. It will be painful, but you can do that. But the way it is done is a bit exaggerated, of course. But the way it's done here, that's just silly.
All right. So all these are pretty much forgettable.
Ron Harushin says the other black girl is Moon Girl.
What?
That just looks stupid.
Where is she? What?
I mean, there's a moon on her shirt.
That's a girl?
Yeah. Can't you see from the ugly face and the stupid hair?
Never mind.
It's just these characters are all horrible.
Yeah, no one likes these.
How the hell is the center one going to get the helmet on? Must be hell wearing
magic hair.
Yeah, really in your face. Anyway, let's keep going.
These black and brown legacy characters that Marvel started pumping out all at once in the early 2010s really boiled people's blood. Even though characters like Kamala Khan and Miles Morales aren't just minority variants of Carol Danvers and Peter Parker, well, at least Kamala wasn't. Fucking Miles. Matter of fact, excuse me.
Oh, why did you hate Miles Morales? Are you a racist? Why do you hate black people?
Oh.
Why are you against the race swapping of Peter Parker?
I thought he'd love Miles Morales, but who knows?
Bloody hell.
Can we talk about Miles Morales for a second?
Skinny boy, where your muscles at? Used to walk the boy.
For the first 7 years of his existence, he was just Black Peter Parker, which is fucking insulting because the point of having a non-Peter Parker character take over as Spider-Man was to see how differently they would approach the mantle, but instead
why is no other character that you race swap doing that?
So you admit he's lame.
Yeah. And all these other shitty characters are lame too. You fucking hypocrite. Why is this so dumb?
I'm confused, but let's just keep going.
How can these people be so dumb? And by the way, just to have it out here, belatedly, the only people who enjoy ear rape jokes or do it to get back at anyone are mentally 8 years old. You are a child. Grow the fuck up. Maybe you start understanding what the actual problem is.
he's just Diet Peter Parker. What the fuck, Brian? If you wanted to make a black Peter Parker, then just make one. Don't say you're making a new minority character and then just make a worse version of a white one. But luckily for us virgins, Spider-Verse came along, and it actually gave Miles his own personality. Thank
Yep, that's what we
God.
all said.
Anyway, the point I've been hammering home this entire video is just that when it comes to race swapping characters, or God forbid, adding minority characters in media at all, you run into this bullshit catch-22 with parts of the fan base. But the best thing you can do is to not care and do what you want as an artist. And remember, the fans are never right.
So you can't do everything you want to do as an artist because you have to pay bills, you fucking idiot.
Is he a fan? Does that
he's not a fan.
Exclude him? So he's not a fan, but he watches
He's
all
not
the
a fan.
shows.
He's right, because he's right. He's a narcissist. Maybe he's even a psychopath, the way he's going on about things. So he admits, he wants to be right. Of course he's right, because he's a narcissist. So he can't be a fan. So we have to listen to someone who's not a fan and can't even keep a consistent opinion, can't keep a consistent argument, has to misrepresent everyone. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this mental case?
Yeah, this
guy needs a therapist in a closed ward.
An argument I made when you say fanboys, there are fans of things and there are fanboys of things, and there's like extremes of those versions. That's kind of where my name came from, but it's very specific uber fans who just don't care, and they love whatever they love, and it doesn't matter what you argue. It doesn't matter if the story sucks or characters suck or this scene sucks. Like they don't see it. They don't even address it. Those are the kinds of guys that I make very clear who I'm not talking to, because there's no point. For him to say this means he is some other type of fan. Clearly he's a fan of whatever, but he's not on the same level as the people he's criticizing. But he has to make that very clear of who he is in this comparison, because if you don't do that, logically I'm lost. So I don't know who Is he a fanfic writer? Is he a critic? Is he a moviegoer? Like, what perspective is he taking here? Because right now he's just an angry black dude, or an angry dude who likes blacks. That's how he's coming.
I mean, we could always pull the thing where he says the fans are never right. Okay, if we're playing that game, the same could be said backwards. Whatever you throw back comes back to you. Don't be pissy when.
This is the problem with big, large statements like the X are never Y, and you're like, okay, who does that include? Obviously not you.
But he's saying several things here. One is, so the people who want the race swaps are not fans. If you want to make money on the product, why should you listen to the people who are not fans?
Yeah, anyone who likes race swaps is not a fan. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Secondly, those people who claim, who want the race swaps and claim to be fans are thus not right.
Oh, dear.
So you shouldn't listen to them and does not do the race swaps.
Oh, that gets confusing very quickly with him. Imagine you ask him that question. Well, what if they're fans and they like race swaps? What then?
Yeah, like he does. Except when they're badly written.
Oh yeah. They can't be fans. They have to like race swaps, and the characters have to be well written. Therefore, it's okay. You're like, what? This guy.
All right, thank you. Please like and subscribe.
That was it?
No.
Good.
You are unlikable.
Oh, it is it.
You're unlikable. Eat a bullet.
Wow. Pretty sad.
What a horrible existence.
All right.
I have an aftertaste in my mouth. I need whiskey.
Oh, that's not the best solution, but tea can work well if you have really good tea, which I think you do.
Yeah, but it's already the 4th infusion. It's not that good anymore.
Ooh. All right.
This Pyrotan does manage 5 infusions, but it's not the second.
All right. Here's a super chat. Thank you, sir. From what do we call you? Frog Jupiter. All right. Speaking of race swapping, did you know Kanye West wants to be played by a white man in a biopic about him? Also, Pinochet did nothing wrong. Wait, Kanye? Yeah, he's a special case. I don't think we can.
He wants to be a Euro villain.
I don't know what he wants at this point. It's too confusing for me.
I think he just wants his money back.
From what?
I think they limited his bank accounts or something.
What?
We're in crazy times. We're in crazy communist times where banks can just take your money at a whim because you said the poopy word.
Oh, well, that's in Canada. I don't know about Europe. Anyway,
it's America. It's an American problem.
All right, here's some stream memes. Get this over with. That was a pretty bad video from Legacy. Tomboy Valkyrie
Exceptionally bad.
had only 30 seconds of screen time, but she's much better than MCU Valkyrie. And then we have Hulk versus Thor. What's going on here? Character design? Is that Hulk versus female Thor, or what's going on?
I don't know. Legacy is not explaining his memes well, and it's not a meme anyway. It's just your message. You're doing the same thing that weirdo did with the dog memes, where you just plastered his personal opinion on it, pretending it's a meme.
Facts.
Make memes.
This is from Cyberfrog. There you go. Turning a white character black for the sake of diversity is not only racist, but it tells black people they're not good enough to have their own characters. Definitely one interpretation.
Yep.
Brother Voodoo, Night Thrasher, Blue Marvel, Debris, MCU race swapping again. Whee! I can't read that. Who wants to take a crack at it?
First panel is just, we should totally make Rogue black.
What? That's a really dumb and bad idea. Well, you could get away with it, but why would you do that? She's so classic. Her accent from the South, her mom, her parents. That's pretty. You have to change everything. Anyway, more things I can barely read.
All right, hold up. Let me pull it up on my. I could read the meme. All right, the meme is no. You gotta respect the ethnicity of the character, and it's the Avatar movie from what's it called? 2009, I think. Last Airbender.
Okay.
And then for Ghost in the Shell, it's no. You gotta respect the ethnicity of the character. They never specified choose Japanese in either format of Ghost in the Shell. So that's a no. Then no, you gotta respect it again, but it's for Prince of Persia, for Jake Gyllenhaal as the main character. And then it's some caveman Wojak going, you see, the character is a fictional character. It doesn't exist. In real life, it's just a cartoon, so it can be represented by any ethnicity. You people are just racist, and it's just Ariel from the new mermaid thing.
Yeah.
With $250,000 for the ugly hair.
That shit gets heavy in water, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Here we go.
That's not water you want hair you want underwater.
Another legacy meme. First Mexican character in the MCU. Her power is being an illegal multiverse immigrant.
And she steals. The first thing is they go into a thing where it's like, oh, the food here is free. And it's like, hey, you gotta pay for that. You thieving.
Is she like Blink? She could like open up gateways to other.
She can open up gateways and with a fist thing. That was for the movie one.
Oh, okay.
Then for the other one, I don't know how the hell she works.
All right. Copperell, Smudcast stage production of Hamlet.
I'd also be okay with being Yorick.
Is that Rosencrantz? Guildenstern? I can't tell.
Who the hell am I in the closet there?
You're the producer. You're feeding the lines.
Oh God.
Wisp is in the back. It's crazy.
Yes. I'm moving Yorick's Yorick's jaw.
Oh God. If this movie is the improvement of her character from the comics, you fail at character creation. Oh, really?
Fair point.
I haven't watched it. I don't know. I don't want to.
It's really, really not good. They made a big baddie the minion for the first half of the movie, or just literally the opening.
So Legacy is back again. Just a reminder: Moon Girl is supposed to be the tamer of the devil dinosaur after Moon Boy died. Oh, all right. Is that what?
I want to go back to Moon Boy.
Is that an actual depiction in the comics? That looks pretty.
Man, that is just ugly.
I'm not sure what that is. Is that just like a fan thing or what? Right there's. I'm assuming.
Oh no, that's I think it's a TV show.
Oh, it's like a.
The one on the left.
Yeah, like how Teen Titans is, like how the animation style is very different. Okay.
Hola,
Amigex?
I'm Sergio. Sergio. I love fiestas and eat tacos. Writer Mike J. Johnson Goldman. Oh no. Cinco de Mayo. USA in the Mexico. More Mexico.
Like that.
Oh my God, Latin. I'm not reading that part.
Yeah.
Representation.
Cultural appropriate. Yeah, what was that great interview with that dude who dressed up as like he wore like a sombrero. He had a poncho. He had all these Mexican paraphernalia on him, and he walked to a bunch of people. And was it California? I can't remember where he went. Just basically white guys. Say, what do you think of my outfit? It's like, oh, that's racist. Blah 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 blah.
I mean, I'm still looking at the meme here. Yeah, no.
It's basically the same as the meme, yeah.
Yeah, then he talks to the actual Mexican people.
Mexicans.
They're like,
and I love
you look
it.
good. Whatever. Enjoy yourself.
Awesome.
No, it was like that with this old cartoon El Tigre, where it actually looks neat, you know. And then you look at a modern cartoon that has a Mexican character. It's like, oh, this is lame.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You didn't do your homework.
All righty, guys. That was pretty bad. That was.
This was exceptionally bad.
The
really, I don't want to have to cover this pile of trash ever again.
That was,
if only for the ear rape.
Well, that was part of the bad experience because of the presentation, but the actual argument was something along the lines of, "You're racist if you think otherwise," because I said so.
It's just you must share my opinion no matter how irrational and inconsistent it is.
And the examples of whitewashing are bad because the storytelling was bad. It's like, yes.
Does this even constitute the bar of the term video essay? Because I think if you submit this text in school in 3rd grade, you will get a bad grade because your text is crap, inconsistent, doesn't make sense, and you're talking all over the place.
It was more constructed than other video people we covered, but it was still falling into its own, like he's digging his own hole and just jumping in. He's just like, all right, this is where I'm going, and not listening to himself while he's talking, which is sad because all of these arguments could have been cleared up with a simple, "Hey, dude, what are you writing?" Like a friend just listening to him for 20 seconds.
This is non-enjoyable insanity, and
oh no, it's not fun to listen to at all. But hey, guys, thank you for the suggestion. Always good to have a what do you call this guy? A race baiter? He's a racist? I don't know what to call him.
It's just a
race baiter.
Deranged psycho commie.
Psycho commie. But he doesn't even know that. He doesn't even know he's a psycho commie.
We don't know that. We would have to watch other videos of his, and
we're not going to do
I will veto.
Yeah.
Every time.
There we go. Good enough for me. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. This has been a pretty cool, chill, quick video to cover. Longer than I thought we were going to zip right by this, but this was so bad that we had to stop.
It's painful.
Every sentence, yeah.
I'd rather have a broken leg than listen to this guy.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for this Sunday. Tomorrow's anime day, so go to the anime section of the Discord and make your suggestions known. And please do vote on it tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Night.
I already put my